Good evening, everybody. Today we will discuss the next methods of finding out the order of a chemical reaction. In the last class, we have discussed the three different methods for determining the order of a chemical reaction. That is the initial rate method, integrated rate method. So it is otherwise known as the trial and error method. The second one is the graphical method, and third one is the differential method or Van Hoff method. Today we will discuss the remaining three methods for finding out the order of a chemical reaction. So the fourth method is the fractional change method or half-life method. We know the half-life of a nth order reaction. We know the equation. Half-life for the nth order reaction is T half is inversely proportional to the initial concentration of n minus 1. So, in this method, that is in the fractional change method or half-life method, we are conducting this two set of same experiment in which we are conducting the experiment with different initial concentration of the reactant. Let the initial concentration of the reactant is A1 and we are measuring the T half and let it be T1. Next, we are conducting the same experiment with a different initial concentration, that is A2, and we have find out the half-life period, and half-life period for the second time it is represented by T2. Then if you are applying in the above equation, T half 1 is directly proportional to 1 by A1 to the power n minus 1, and T half of 2 is directly proportional to the 1 by A2 to the power n minus 1. So if you are dividing these two equations, we will get T half of 1 divided by T half of 2, that's equal to A2 by A1 to the whole power of n minus 1. Then if you take the logarithm log T half of 1 divided by T half of 2, that's equal to n minus 1 into log A2 by A1. Then if we take the n term on the right hand side and if you are moving the other term in the next side, so we will get the equation as n is equal to 1 plus log T half of 1 minus log T half of 2 divided by log A2 minus log A1. We know the value of T half of 1 and T half of 2, A1 and A2. If we substitute all the quantities in this equation, we can easily find out the value of n. Okay, thus we can measure the order of an unknown reaction. Next, we are moving into the other method, that is the initial rate method. So, in this method, if any reaction involving two different type of reactant, and in this method, the reaction is first carried out by in which the one of the reactant having a known concentration and the other have the reaction involving two different reactant in which the reaction is first started with a known concentration of any one of the reactant, and from this the order with respect to that particular reactant can be determined. Then the same procedure is repeated with respect to the other reactant, and the sum of the individual order with respect to each reactant give the overall order of a reaction. So consider this example: small a mole of capital A and small b mole of capital B undergo the chemical reaction and to give the product. So if concentration of A is doubled, keeping concentration of B as constant, so we can find out the rate, and initial rate is also found to be doubled. That means rate is directly proportional to the concentration of A. Then, so the order with respect to A is 1. Here the order is 1 because the power of concentration of A in the rate expression is 1. Then again when we do the same experiment by keeping B is doubled and keeping A is constant, then again we will find out the rate of a reaction. Then if the rate is found to be quadrupled, so the order with respect to B is 2. So we can write the expression with respect to B is rate is directly proportional to B to the power 2. Then, so the overall order of a reaction is 1 plus 2, that's equal to 3. So this is the initial rate method. Okay. Now we are moving into the another method, that is the isolation method, and it is otherwise known as Ostwald isolation method. And this method is very much similar to the above method, that is initial rate method, in which one of the reactant are taken in a large excess and their concentration remain practically constant. And only the isolated reactant undergo the change. That is, experiment is conducted such that all the reactant excepting one are taken in a large excess. So the order of the reactant is determined, and this gives the order of a reactant with respect to the isolated reactant. Then the concentration of the other reactant remain practically unchanged. Then the same experiment is repeated, isolating each of the other reactant in turn, and the order with respect to each is determined. Then sum of the individual order give the overall order of a reaction. See, consider the example for this isolated reaction, isolated method, ester hydrolysis. For the ester hydrolysis, first of all, take the concentration of ester. We can measure the concentration of the ester, and we take the quantity of the water in a large excess. Then find out the order of a reaction. So we know that the order is directly proportional to the concentration of the ester. Then again, if we are doing the same experiment by taking the large excess of ester and the concentration of the water in constant. So we can see that there is no influence of the water on the chemical reaction. So the power of water is 0. That means if you are adding the dependence of the reactant to the rate of a reaction, we can see that rate is directly proportional to the concentration of ester only. So if you are summing up, we can see that the ester hydrolysis, if we take the water in a large excess, is a first order reaction. Then coming up to the initial rate method, if you are doing the same experiment in which we can find the concentration of ester, and by making the water quantity is a measurable quantity. After that, if you are doing the same experiment with respect to the ester, then by summing up the influence of the reactant, both the reactant, we will get the order of a reaction. So today we have discussed the 3 different methods for determining the order of a reaction, that is the half-life method, second one is the isolation method, and the third one is the initial rate method. So there are 6 different methods for determining the order of a reaction. First one is the integrated rate method or trial and error method. The second one is the graphical method, and third one is the Van Hoff method or differential method, and the fourth one is the half-life method, and fifth one is the isolation method, and the last one is the initial rate method. I hope that you understood the concept. Thank you.